Donald Trump made a phone call to RFK Jr., who recorded his end of the call, and we have part of that. Let's listen.
Something's wrong with that whole system. Yeah. And, and it's the doctors you find. Remember I said I want to do small doses. Small doses. When you feed a baby, Bobby, a vaccination that has like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this. And do you ever see the size of it, right? It's this massive. And then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it too many times. And then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago.
This is Donald Trump trashing the very vaccines that his administration pushed through in a very successful way. And I just want to make abundantly clear, all vaccines that are approved or authorized for use have been proven safe and effective through rigorous scientific studies. Severe reactions are exceedingly rare, and the CDC says the benefits far outweigh the risks. The World Health Organization says vaccines prevent more than 4 million deaths every year. Critical fact check there, but the fact that Trump is trying to appeal to one of the most well-known vaccine opponents, clearly trying, Audie, to get him to drop his bid and get on board with Donald Trump. What does that tell you?
I kind of want to defer to Kristen here, but for a time, people thought maybe Kennedy would take votes away from Biden, and that was the big concern. And I think that sort of changed after a while as people started to take a look at this very kind of mixed bag coalition of people who are supporters of Kennedy and try to make sense of it. Obviously, the Trump people have, or else this phone call wouldn't have happened.
David, the other thing happening this morning, we saw this kind of, I don't want to call it leaked, but it was an accidentally posted video of a call between Donald Trump and RFK Jr. This is fascinating to me because normally a third-party candidate we wouldn't be paying a ton of attention to, but this is someone who has the potential to impact this race. Why is Donald Trump having an in-person meeting with RFK Jr. and calling him on the phone, and they're chit-chatting about vaccine skepticism?
Yeah, so let's put the vaccine skepticism aside for a moment here, since we know that approved vaccines are indeed safe and effective in this country. But it does speak to some ideological alignment and where Trump is still in pursuit of something here. I mean, this is what I find so fascinating. He has the phone call on Sunday, of course, talks about how he's doing after the shooting as well, in addition to the vaccine piece. But then the in-person meeting here in Milwaukee on Monday, that is a concerted effort to try and see if there's a way to bring RFK Jr. and his supporters into this Trump fold. It's something that the Trump campaign has been keenly focused on throughout the entirety of this campaign. They are of the mind that there are some real alignments with the RFK Jr. voters, and they saw him as a potential threat, and you see him right now trying to embrace it.
Yeah, and I would also say, I mean, one of the things that we've heard over and over again since the shooting on Saturday is that Donald Trump is actually trying for this message on unity. Now, I will be clear. How long this lasts, if it lasts, we have no idea. Obviously, Donald Trump is not one for a unified message, but the people I've spoke to who are close to him have said that he feels like a changed man. At least he's saying he is. One of the things that he's saying is that he's lucky to be alive. So there is a concerted effort that they're making as a whole on trying to show a united front.
All right. Kristen Holmes, David Chalian, thank you both very much.